Good morning, gentlemen. It's early morning, but I thought I'd talk with you on some important topics, and that is the elections in the democratic world. I'll concentrate basically on India, England, and the United States. And we'll see how democracy really functions. If you look at India, the BJP has suffered I think, a bit of a bloody nose. And it's a sad thing that they couldn't even win 272 seats on their own. Now, if a party cannot win the majority and has gone down by many seats, and this has basically been because of the debacle in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Bengal, these are the three states, then some heads must roll. But I'm afraid nobody's head has rolled so far. And if at all somebody's head will roll, probably he'll be the man who is not involved in this election. So that is a point which we will bear in mind. So 2029 is still 5 years away, and probably the BJP could pull through till that time. Though I have a feeling that somewhere around the middle of this term, they could have a mid-term poll. But that's a big gamble, because in case they do hold it, there's a good chance they would come below 200. And what happens after that? So course correction is a must for the BJP. And actually, I think they shouldn't go in for a mid-term poll, because the feeling is pretty negative as far as the BJP is concerned all over the country. And they could well try for 2029 and see if they can win at that time. Because it's better to survive and fight another day than to lose straight away. That's my way of thinking. But before the BJP goes into the 2029 election, they'll have to answer to a lot of things, which they promised in 15 years they didn't do. And I don't have to keep repeating them. It's in their manifesto. They didn't follow it, like the Uniform Civil Code. They haven't done anything about it. And that's going to be a stumbling block. And another bigger block is that the BJP didn't think about the population, which is eating away into the vitals of the Indian economy. And the per capita income is going not high, but it's static. I mean, we know we're close to China. We can feel happy that there was some news item that the Chinese army is unhappy with President Xi and all that. He's gone to hiding and all that. I mean, these are all makeshift news, news which have got little relevance. But the fact is, I thought some important person in the BJP hierarchy at the center should have taken stock of the situation. His head should have rolled, and this man should have been sent into the cadre to try and regenerate the party instead of sitting in a cabinet post. But it hasn't happened that way. Probably Narendra Modi hasn't realized the seriousness of the situation. I've been traveling the country up and down, and as I've repeated in my video sets, there's nothing like a Hindu vote. The Hindu vote doesn't exist because the Hindus are not united. They've never been. And that is the sad part of the whole thing. So if the BJP does a course correction now, I'm pretty sure they can come back, bounce back. And that course correction is on two fields. One is the social environment, which has to be improved. And number two is the economy. Now that's the most important thing. And the economy is related to the population. So until you have the population under control, how are you going to improve the economy? I don't see how it's going to be done. So they have to think about these lines, the BJP, and इनको सोचना पड़ेगा कि भी क्या करना है आगे, आप कैसे इलेक्शन लड़ेंगे 2029 की, and अगर कोई improvement नहीं होगा over the situation in 2024, then how do they expect to win? And I will say that Rahul Gandhi is not a popular man. ऐसी बात है नहीं कि बहुत popular leader है. But there is an old saying that by default you win sometimes, and by default he won some seats in Uttar Pradesh this time. But then by default, he could win more seats all over the country. And he could give a very unstable government if he comes into power sometime in 29. My chances are, my hope is, rather my reading is that he's going to give a very unstable government because he's not coherent in his thoughts. And his entire focus is on the minorities and the Muslims, how he can benefit them and keep on being in power by creating a vote bank. So ये जो बातें हैं ना, it's very, touching to the heart. So बीजेपी को एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली थी. 10 years is a long time, एक era होता है, and they should have done a better than what they did. देखिए, जो lot of the common man didn't improve, that let's accept it. And giving free ration and some subsidy and all is not a substitute at all. एक कहावत है, don't give a person fish to eat, tell him out to fish for food. See, that is it. If you are going to give out doles like this at the cost of the taxpayers who are paying money through their nose, and then see to it that the poor people are given free rations and monthly subsidy and all that, how is it going to win you elections? अगर ये बात होती तो बीजेपी की 400 सीट इस बार आई होती, but they have not been able to win 400 seats, nowhere near close to that. And they were planning 400 seats. इसका रीजन एक ही है, that public wants goods. They want to see an improvement in their lifestyle. And मेरे ख्याल में that did not take place. And another reason for the BJP is कि BJP का जो core cadre है, core cadre is the middle class and the business class, the small businessmen. I think BJP did not pay much attention to them. They were so intent in giving out the free doles, which were mostly taken by the Muslim community, and net result क्या किया? They took all the benefits, everything लेके, and vote they did not give to the BJP. I think this is another course correction BJP must do. That these freebies and these subsidies which they are giving, they must stop them. There is no need to give it. And try and improve the lot of the people otherwise, It's a Herculean task, but आपको try तो करिए. By giving free money, 1,000 rupees to the ladies or 1,200 to the women or something like that, and people go every month and collect the money, and when it comes to voting, they don't vote for the BJP because सोचते हैं तुम्हारा right है, and they don't want to earn anything. And आप किससे ये पैसे लेके, after all the kitty is only this much, that means that income tax and other things which you are taking from the salaried class, the middle class, the small business leke you are giving to these people, and overall development is not there, I personally feel. And ये एक फैक्ट बात है कि हमारी इनकम जो है per capita income compared to China is 1/6. So this election is a watershed जो इंडिया में हुआ है, and अगर बीजेपी कोर्स करेक्शन करेगी, there is a good chance that they may come back into power next time. आप इंग्लैंड में देखिए, जहां तक खबर हमें आ रही है कि what is the latest news I have got is that the Labour Party is romping home. And it's a historic victory. They are winning, I think, over 400 seats in the British Parliament. But my view is whether Labour comes or Conservatives come, England is doomed. There is nothing which can save England at all. The British Isle is finished. They were surviving till 1947 on the basis of their colonies. In fact, सारा यूरोप colonies पे survive कर रहा था. The famous industrial revolution which took place in Europe entirely was based on the back of the colonies. And one of the colonies went away, these people all collapsed, like a pack of cards. So England are, I don't think, whether you can bring conservatives, you can bring Labour is coming back. And I've gone through the manifesto of the Labour Party. उन्होंने कोई नई बात नहीं की. They have said nothing. They are only talking of setting up some commissions here and there and, improving the national health scheme. You see, when you approve the national health scheme, that means you are going to spend more money on it. And where is the money for the British? So there has to be austerity there. And secondly, how are you going to deal with the fiscalist tendencies in England of the minority communities, particularly the Muslims? And Labour has always had a weakness for the Muslim community, I think, and that is pretty disastrous. And in the long run, I don't think Labour is going to be anything better than the Conservatives. And मेरा अंदाजा है कि अगर they may win 400 seats now, but in the next election they will be wiped out again, because Labour is not going to improve the economic situation. Basically, it's the economy. And also, India should be very wary of the Labour Party. The Labour Party के जो पहले leaders थे, I'll not name them, they were talking all nonsense. And they were talking of Kashmir as one of the unfinished agenda of partition. They were always pro-Pakistan, but now they must have realized that being pro-Pakistan is no meaning. Pakistan तुमको डंडे मारता है. That is another thing. And Pakistan, which was their best bet, is now economically ruined. So, France may also, there is a big upsurge this time, but it is the right-wing parties which are coming up. Le Pen जो है, she is the right-wing leader. She has already for celebrating victory, because the Macron's party, that is the centrists, have won only 20% of the votes, and she has won 33, and the leftists have won 28. But still, there is a chance that Macron may outmaneuver Le Pen, because in France the election is a little complicated. It's in 2 tiers, and in 2 tiers you see the end result could be a little different. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But one thing is very clear, that the left is where it is, but the centrists have gone down, and Le Pen has moved ahead, and she is a rightist party, and her views on Islam and other things are well known. Now we have another problem coming up in the United States. There, Donald Trump is leading the pack totally. There's no doubt about that. And he will be the president of America in case elections are held fair and square, and he is allowed to contest. Now, Joe Biden is as good as lost the battle. So he's being persuaded by election mat khade hui, you sit down, quietly relax, and he's not really agreeable to it, but probably pressure will be put on him, and the candidature may go to Kamala Harris. And in case Kamala Harris becomes the Democratic nominee, and though Obama may try to make his wife Michelle Obama as the nominee, the chances are that she will lose. Even Mrs. Obama will lose, and the person who win will be Donald Trump. Now, मुझे एक थोड़ा सा मेरे पास एक पॉइंट है कि डोनाल्ड ट्रंप तो अच्छे आदमी है. I admire him a lot, but he's a very maverick type of man, and in his first term as president, he should have done something more spectacular, which he didn't do. And in the second term, अब क्या करने वाला है, we do not know if he wins. And because the leftists are going to be in power, the rightists are going to be in power in France, perhaps because they will at least have a big say. Labour would be there in England, and in India, of course, the BJP is continuing, but it's a bit of a lame duck, I mean, in the sense that old elan, the bravado, that would be missing. And Modi would do well not to be overtaken by, these laws, take it in stride and go ahead and try to improve the economy. See, the basic thing is the economy. Try to improve the economy, number one, and talk less about rhetoric. And I can say that Rahul Gandhi is not a threat at all. He may have 100 seats, but next time he won't win even this many figures. He may come back to the old figure of 50, provided the BJP plays its cards properly. And then he has got a motley crowd along with him. Akhilesh Yadav is there, another motley crowd. Then Uddhav Thackeray, and I don't know whether Mamta is with him or no. I don't think she'll be with him. And basically, these are the two people who are going to be with him. And that doesn't give him a majority. He'll never have a majority. So he will be just remaining on the fringe lines. So we'll have to see, gentlemen. It's a very interesting situation in the democratic world. I think one thing is good, that the Russians and the Chinese don't have this sort of election. So it's okay with them. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But definitely, if the democratic world is in disarray, it will be a little difficult for them to match the Russians and the Chinese. Russia, of course, is a democracy, but it's a guided democracy. You know, I don't understand what sort of democracy where Putin wins 90% of the vote. Maybe the Russians are so enamored of him, but the elections probably could be staged that way. I don't know. I'm not sure about it. And of course, there are no elections in China. He continues sitting like the king there. So, gentlemen, I think I'll close now, giving you a bit of an idea or a bird's eye view of what's happening. BJP is going to pull up its socks, number one. And Labour's coming into power in England. I don't think it's going to make any difference to the British. The economy is going to remain where it is. And Donald Trump is, if he wins, I think we could have a change. At least the Americans will have a breathing space and be able to once more have a decisive influence in the world. And I think he would be having a good relationship with Narendra Modi. And that will be the saving grace of this entire scenario. Gentlemen, I close now. I hope you like this video. Please share it with your friends. Come back for more. I think I'll close now and say goodbye and God bless.